Hello, just checking that I'm coming through alright. Making sure that's all running properly. It is, and we'll get started. A little bit louder. Imagine. Be okay now. This is Mass Effect. Funnily enough, over the past couple of years, I've taught quite a few classes on Mass Effect and on why it's important. Generally, I do that in the guise of literary classes when I take people through how to write characters, how to write protagonists and antagonists. Basically, the structure of a story and how it should work. Because I genuinely do think that this story is essentially the best example of a opening act ever in any medium, in any form. If you've not played it, I know, Viorp, I know you said that you haven't played it before. I really suggest that you do go away and play it. Don't worry about today, because I'm only going to be spoiling the first hour or so, maybe two, depends on how long I get. And yeah, I really can't recommend it enough. It is, again, if you want to know how to structure an introduction to a world, to a setting that is a bit out there, a bit weird, you don't quite know what to do with it, you need to play something like this, or at least experience a story in another way, like this. This is old BioWare. This is the BioWare before all of the modern shenanigans that they end up getting up to. BioWare itself, as a company, as a group of writers and developers, they're finished as a company. They're no longer BioWare, as far as I'm concerned. You know, with Anthem and with not even them. Let's discount Anthem. Just with Andromeda. They're now done. They're finished. There's no ounce of the original BioWare, the original talent left. I came up with an analogy that I quite liked whilst I was in the shower a few days ago, actually. I do most of my good thinking in the shower, amongst other things. But the analogy that I came up with was essentially that you look at the villain in this game, in this story, is Seren Arterius. Okay, I remember everything about Seren. I remember the fact that he was. The best villains are essentially the protagonists of their own stories. The best villains don't believe that they're evil. They believe that they're doing what is right and what is good, and they believe that you're doing wrong because you're trying to stop them. And that's exactly what Seren is. He's one of the best written villains that I've ever come across, and I've read nearly every piece of major fantasy literature that's out there, to be honest with you. He's still one of the best. Cross-reference that with Mass Effect Andromeda's main villain. I couldn't even tell you what that villain was called. I can't remember his name, if it was a he. I think it was. Yeah, it sounded like a he. And he had some weird, vague name like the Architect or the Overlord or something. He had some really weird name. You know, really pompous, really. And he was twirling his mustache. I want to rule the galaxy because, and that was his motivation. Terrible, right? And Mass Effect Andromeda is essentially this story, Mass Effect story, just regurgitated, but by worse writers, right? And that's exactly what Mass Effect Andromeda is. It's a fan fiction, a Mass Effect fan fiction that isn't very original. Whereas this actual story, again, for an opening act, one of the best, one of the absolute best. As we take you through it, there are some mods installed on this, just to make sure that there are graphics mods, there are gameplay mods, little things like that. I am having some trouble with the PC these days because I'm about to rebuild it, right? So it is on the way out. I'm literally a few weeks away, a week away maybe, from rebuilding the entire thing. So yeah, it's going to be, yeah, if I crash, I crash. I will apologise for that right now. Hopefully I won't, but we'll see. I think it's a power supply problem, but we'll see. It's been a problem for ages. Certain things it runs for 6-7 hours, without any problem whatsoever. Not that I play for that long, but you know what I mean. It could run all day long, be fine. Certain things, 20 minutes and it'll crash. So yeah, I don't know. But by next week, that problem will be sorted, because when I'm moving to the US, I'm getting a new PC. Also, on the flip side of that, I am moving to the US in a couple of weeks. Mainly at the end of March, so a month from today I'm aiming for, actually, the 26th of March. So that means that these streams, call them what you want, streams, maybe a bit of a lesson on how this story is amazing and how you should use it in your own writing, in terms of how you go about creating characters and creating narratives. This will go on all throughout March, so Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, all in this as well. I will be covering the bad things. I do go over the bad things. I'm not somebody who has the blinkered lights on. BioWare back then were not infallible. They did get some things wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, they are few and far between. I will call them out when I see them. But compared to new BioWare, it's not even, you only realise what you've got. You don't realise what you've got until it's gone. That's what I always say. So, start a new career.
Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested.
First bit of fun trivia is the lead voice actor for Commander Shepard in this, Mark Meir. His wife is the person who voices the database here.
Establishing secure connection. Secure connection confirmed.
Right, if you played this before, you know how good the graphics are looking right now. I know this doesn't seem really good by modern standards, but in terms of this game, this is space age stuff. So let me just enter a new ID. We could go with a normal one, but a new ID. Custom mail.
Please log in to access your profile.
I'm gonna go with Roy. I don't know why. It's a name that popped into my head. It's one of my uncle's names. But I always thought Roy's the name of a bastard. Just a bit of a bastard. Go with Roy.
Warning, data corruption detected. Please reconstruct profile. Confirm pre-service history.
Alright, so this is the pre-service history. So this is a really cool thing where in the story itself, you don't get to decide everything about Shepard. You don't get to decide everything about who he is. You do get to decide whereabouts he's come from in a very vague sense. And you have 3 possible backgrounds for him. So we have Spacer here, which is basically your parents were in the Alliance military. You're a military baby, really. Your childhood was spent on ships and stations as they transferred from posting to posting, never staying in one location for more than a few years. Following in your parents' footsteps, you enlisted at the age of 18. If you want to be a really good guy, Spacer's the way to go. Fun fact, if you choose Spacer, you actually get to see your parents or speak to your mother at one stage. Cool. I think it's in this game and in the third one. Thing is though, I don't like Spacer because of what happens to you in the second game. You go missing for a long time, you're presumed dead, and then you come back again. I don't get why your parents wouldn't be wanting to get in contact with you, but, whatever, it's fine. I think they do get in contact with you, but it's basically... but I think basically they send you an email. I think something stupid like that. I don't quote me on that. I think it is, though, because I've never played Space before. But I think they just like email you, go, hey, you're alive? It's like, yeah, that's what your parents would do if they thought you were dead. Cool. Colonist. I'm not going to read that one just yet, because that's the one I'm going to be choosing. But Earthborn. Earthborn, you were an orphan raised on the streets of the great metropolises covering Earth. You escaped the life of petty crime and underworld gangs by enlisting with the Alliance military when you turned 18. Pretty cool backstory. You get to meet your people from your gang, the Reds, when you select this. Not much else happens, I don't think. If you want a middle of the road character who's a bit of both sides, this is the one to go for, I think. Because these two are pretty balanced people. This one's more criminal, obviously, but he's petty criminal, you know, and he's a kid when he was doing that. This one's, you know, goody two-shoes, you know, saluting the flag and all that. The colonist is a scarred individual. Honest, this is a really interesting... And if I was ever going to write a Mass Effect movie, or TV series or whatever, the prologue would be this, what's happening in this colonist profile. So, you were born and raised on Mindoir, a small border colony in the Attican Traverse. When you were 16, slavers raided Mindoir, slaughtering your family and friends. You were saved by a passing Alliance patrol, and you enlisted with the military a few years later. So this is someone who has a predisposition to not like Batarians. Batarians were the race of slavers who raided Mindoir, because they murdered everybody. And you do come across Batarians quite a lot in this game, and you do fight them quite a lot, and they don't like humans very much. And if you pick this, in the second game, when you unfortunately cause the death of a Batarian colony, they blame you and say, just because we raided your colony, you've now destroyed ours. That's really cool. I also think that if you're going to be a full renegade, as I'm going to be, the very, very, not nasty, but very, I get the job done at all costs, it suits the game and suits the story that you were scarred in this way by the galaxy. The galaxy hit you, and now you're hitting it back, and you always hit it back. And this is who he's going to be. So he's going to be a colonist.
Confirm psychological profile.
So more in depth on the Paragon Renegade side of things, good and bad side of things. There is no good and bad in this story, okay? There are two different forms of getting the job done. There's either you try and find a way to work with people, you're a good person, you go out of your way to make sure everyone's okay, that kind of a person, you bring people together. That's Paragon. That's pretty much good cop. Then you have bad cop, you have Dirty Harry, which is basically absolutely ruthless. You get the job done, you don't give a shit about anyone else, and you will go above and beyond to make sure that it gets done, essentially. And that is what I'm going to be. So Sole Survivor is, during your service, a mission you were on went horribly wrong. Trapped in an extreme survival situation, you had to overcome physical torments and psychological stresses that would have broken most people. You survived while all those around you fell, and now you alone are left to tell the tale. Right, second part of the what Dean would do if he was writing the Mass Effect movie or Mass Effect TV series. The Sole Survivor would be the first episode, the first major episode, and it would be Shepard with his squad in this mission where all of his squad dies apart from him, and he's left with some pretty gnarly scars. But in terms of this playthrough, we won't be selecting this one because it doesn't give us the most renegade points. We want all of the renegade points. So this would still be classed as a part of the a balanced person who's been a bit scarred. War hero, boring, but I will read it. Early in your military career, you found yourself facing an overwhelming enemy force. You risked your own life to save your fellow soldiers and defeat the enemy despite the impossible odds. Your bravery and heroism have earned you medals and recognition from the Alliance fleet. Yeah, basically, if you're going to be like Superman, you want to be Captain America, that's the one to pick. And there's Ruthless. This one's very vague, okay, but it's the best one if you want all the renegade points. Throughout your military career, you have held fast to one basic rule: get the job done. You've been called cold, calculating, and brutal. Your reputation for ruthless efficiency makes your fellow soldiers wary of you. But when failure is not an option, the military always goes to you first. That's what my guy's going to be. Again, if I was writing it myself, I would choose Sole Survivor, but I'm not. This is going to be an absolutely ruthless playthrough. That's what it is.
Military specialization.
This is generally anyone new to RPGs, or anyone who likes RPGs will probably get this. Doesn't really matter. You have your normal warrior, soldier, the engineer, who's an engineer, can fix things. And you got the adept, who's basically a magic user, who uses mind-bending powers. Infiltrator, rogue, sniper, sentinel. Funny enough, infiltrator was my first class in this game. Sentinel, pretty much a techie but magic-y person. And Vanguard, a combat-y magic-y person. We're going to be Vanguard because I like being a biotic. It's pretty cool. Biotic is pretty much magic in this setting.
Confirm facial identification.
We'll change you. No, absolutely no offence meant to Mr. Mark Vanderloo. Yeah, the faces in Mass Effect are pretty gnarly. They're not very good. They do get better. Time goes on. Fine for now. You can create some absolutely horrific people on because, unfortunately, as I said, you know, Emmy, it was awful. It was just awful. This and create some absolute monsters. And it's fine. Yeah, I mean, not good. It does get better with games as they go on. It does get a lot better. So, brow depth, brow height. Now, funny thing is, if you put the brow all the way down there, when he's naturally scowling because you're saying something angry, the brows sort of glitch out and cover his eyes. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna use it down here. You can't even see the iris curl for the most part in the normal without the mods, but now you can. Ice blue, that's cool. Cool. Eye height. Oh. I honestly think this was a leftover of them just trying to rush out the door and get it done. Do you know what I mean? Like they were trying to get it done for a long time. Too big, and this is the thing, you can't even see. Oh yeah. Jaw width. More like jaw height, but okay. Mouth shape. Awful. Just horrific. Just horrific. It's like you can adjust the mouth depth so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, but... My god. They don't make it easy, do they? And the nose was a controversial one for me back in the day, because look, you can't even see. The amount of times you create a character on this and your nose is just this amorphous blob on the front of your face, and you don't realise because of the way the camera is. They learnt a lot over the years in terms of character creation. That's one thing I will say for modern day BioWare, is character creators are generally quite good. The one in Andromeda, of course, was trash, like everything else in that game. But in this, it was actually pretty good. Sorry, the best one I've seen is in Inquisition, Dragon Age Inquisition. That was absolutely phenomenal as a character creator. Not things you could do in that engine. That Andromeda then didn't take any sort of cue from, because, you know, it's Andromeda. Okay, is that going to look like... Fine. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Watch this. It's going to look like an absolute fuck nose now when he starts. Or you have. No 5 o'clock shadow anymore? Oh yeah, there is. Good. Suitably dirty Harry. Like it. Kind of like mohawks and stuff. Oh, no, you can't. I'd like that, actually, with the new texture mods. Pretty cool. Gonna go with that. Now, like facial structure has scars on it? Yeah, it does. Go. The scar from Mindoir and other places. I like it. Actually quite successful. I'm not coming back to change it, no matter what. That'll do. That'll do. That's not black, is it? Oh, that's black. That's brownie. Brownie black. That'll do. This then.
Profile reconstruction complete.
Lovely. The Invincible Roy.
Identification confirmed.
Normal, squad only, target assist. Title, yes. Auto C. Cool. I'm going to shut up for a minute.
Well, what about Shepard? He grew up in the colonies.
He knows how tough life can be out there. His parents were killed when slavers attacked Mindoir.
He got most of his unit killed on Torfin.
He gets the job done, no matter what the cost.
Is that the kind of person we want protecting the galaxy?
That's the only kind of person who can protect the galaxy.
I'll make the call.
The Arcturus Prime relay is in range. Initiating transmission sequence.
Commander?
We are connected. Calculating transit mass and destination. The relay is hot. Acquiring approach vector. All stations secure for transit. Board is green. Approach run has begun. Hitting the relay in 3, 2, 1. Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emission sync engaged. All systems online. Drift, just under 1500K.
1500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment. So you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead. So that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
That's the thing with dialogue in stories, is that most of the time, going between characters like that in different mediums, you can get what's the word? Quite hokey dialogue, and that's the thing that I really like about the story, is that the dialogue is always fresh, it's always unique, and it's always to the point. It generally seems quite realistic. Now, if you see the actual wheel that we have here, these are all the reactions that can be taken in the different conversations that we're going to be going through, and if it happens quick enough, as obviously it's not happening now because I'm not touching anything, but if it happens quick enough, it can actually seem like a really quick firing conversation. Rather than you actually reading through every single piece of dialogue, it actually forms a unique bounce in the conversation. And you have to bear in mind that as you take Shepard through this story as well, a lot of the things that he's saying are abbreviated, so they're not full sentences. Now that has good things, good points, and bad points. The good points are obviously the fact that if you do it quick enough, or if you read it quick enough, and you get quite a spontaneous response, and you start talking in a very natural way with different characters in the story as you go over things and discover different points. It also means that the Shepard in the story is actually getting their own unique personality as they go through it as well. So you have, say you got 3 responses here: I agree, you're overreacting, or cut the chatter. That's very self-explanatory. Bottom one is very direct, abrupt response. You're overreacting, which is kind of a neutral response, and you got I agree, which is like a very agreeable, yes, I agree, yeah, I'm with you guys, sort of response. In a story, it's very, very, very important in a story like this to have that bounce in the conversations. The problem is sometimes there can be a bit of a disconnect between what you select and what's actually said, and that isn't good. There are. I never personally came across anything like this when I've read through the script, and I've also gone through this obviously multiple times, the entire thing multiple times. I've never actually come across that myself, where I've had that disconnect, where I select something and then what's said is not said at all. But it does happen. It does happen, and there are many people who've said, I didn't. You'll select something, it'll be said, and then you'll be sitting there thinking, I didn't say that. Like, I didn't select that. That's not what's written down here. So there is that disconnect in the script sometimes between, what's there and how it actually comes across. And of course, there's the detail as well. So even though this method allows you to bounce around with dialogue quite a bit, there's also the lack of detail there. So there is that disconnect between what you're doing and what's actually happening. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's something that comes across in later installments as well. So that I would watch. If you're ever writing dialogue, that I would watch. It needs to have a bounce to it. It needs to have a definite, realistic jibe to it. Between, obviously we're in a military situation here in this scene. It needs to have that much of a jibe to it. But yeah.
That's enough. You're soldiers. Act like it.
Sorry, Commander.
Joker, status report.
Just cleared the mass relay, Captain. Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Good. Find a comm buoy and link us into the network. I want mission reports relayed back to Alliance Brass before we reach Eden Prime.
Aye, aye, Captain. Better brace yourself, sir. I think Nihilus is headed your way.
He's already here, Lieutenant. Tell Commander Shepard to meet me in the comm room for a debriefing.
You get that, Commander?
Great. You pissed the captain off, and now I'm going to pay for it.
Don't blame me. The captain's always in a bad mood.
Only when he's talking to you, Joker.
So as you saw there, that was a very natural bounce to the conversation, as you saw towards the end there. Another thing you could do in this that you couldn't do is get your weapon out. Put it away.
The captain's waiting for you in the comm room, Commander.
You probably don't want to keep the captain waiting, Commander.
One thing I didn't like is
He marched by like he was on a mission.
He's a Spectre. They're always on a mission.
And we're getting dragged right along with him.
Relax, Presley. You're gonna give yourself an ulcer.
Congratulations, Commander. Looks like we had a smooth run. You heading down to see the captain?
oh, the textures in this look absolutely beautiful.
Sounds like you don't trust our Turian guest.
Sorry, Commander. Just having a chat with Adams down at engineering. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. But you have to admit, something's odd about this mission. The whole crew feels it.
You think the Alliance brass is holding out on us?
If all we're supposed to do is test out the stealth system, why is Captain Anderson in charge? And then there's Nihilus. Spectres are elite operatives, top covert agents. Why send a Spectre, a Turian Spectre, on a shakedown run? It doesn't add up.
You don't trust Nihilus.
I don't like Turians in general. It runs in my family. My grandfather fought in the First Contact War. Lost a lot of friends when the Turians hit us.
Nihilus is no ordinary Turian.
You've got that right, Commander. We're an Alliance vessel, human military, but Nihilus doesn't answer to the captain like the rest of us. Spectres operate outside the normal chain of command. And they don't come along just to observe shakedown runs. Nihilus looks like he's expecting some heavy action. I don't like it.
What do you know about the stealth systems?
I just know it masks our location from scans and sensors. Cutting-edge technology. The Normandy's the only ship with this prototype drive. But why are we fully staffed? A skeleton crew would be cheaper, less chance of security leaks too. Plus there's Nihilus. It's pretty obvious this shakedown run is just a cover.
For what?
Damned if I know, Commander. We're out here on false pretenses. I'm not a fan of being left in the dark.
So as you can see, the bounce in the conversation is actually taking effect now. And I think that's the main push forward of the system, is that you're able to have these conversations that are really quick fire, and they seem very natural.
Do you have a problem with the captain?
No, sir. But I can't figure out what he's doing here. Captain Anderson is one of the most decorated Special Forces officers in the service. If he melted down all his medals, he could make a life-size statue of himself. You don't send a soldier like that on a do-nothing mission. He's treating this shakedown run too seriously. Something big is going on.
Info's on a need-to-know basis, Presley. Just follow the orders you're given.
Understood, Commander.
I grew up on Eden Prime, Doc. It's not the kind of place Spectres visit. There's something Nihilus isn't telling us about this mission.
That's crazy. The captain's in charge here. He wouldn't take orders from a Spectre.
Not his choice, Doc. Spectres don't answer to anyone. They can do whatever they want. Kill anyone who gets in their way.
Oh, you watch too many spy vids, Jenkins.
What do you think, Commander? We won't be staying on Eden Prime too long, will we? I'm itching for some real action.
I sincerely hope you're kidding, Corporal. Your real action usually ends with me patching up crew members in the infirmary.
I actually think Jenkins in this scene is, he comes across as a nod to essentially every goody two-shoes, ultra-enthusiastic character who is going to die in the first 5 minutes of anything ever. He's basically a nod to the red shirts in Star Trek, I always thought, which is pretty fun.
You need to calm down, Corporal. A good soldier stays cool, even under fire.
Sorry, Commander, but this waiting's killing me. I've never been on a mission like this before, not one with a Spectre on board.
What can you tell me about Nihilus?
Turians are generally well respected by the other species. Their fleet has more patrols protecting Citadel space than any other. They don't always get on well with us, though. Some people find them too rigid. Others still blame them for the First Contact War. As for Nihilus, I haven't said more than 2 words to him. He usually only speaks to the captain.
I heard Nihilus once took down an entire enemy platoon all by himself. Man, I can't believe I'm on a mission with an actual Spectre.
What do you know about the Spectres?
Only what I've heard. Spectre agents work directly for the Citadel Council. They usually work alone or in small groups. Spectres don't have any official power, though. Basically, they're a shadow organization with a mandate to preserve and protect galactic stability.
Protect it at any cost. Don't forget that part. Spectres operate above the law.
So I actually agree with what you're saying there, Viorp, yeah. Soul Survivor does seem like a pretty cliched thing, but don't forget the start of Firefly. The start of Firefly is also very cliched, in that you have, you know, a war going on and someone who loses a war and is then, you know, he's then scarred by the war. It's very cliched. I don't think cliches matter that much as long as they're well done, you know? I really don't.
You're from Eden Prime, aren't you, Jenkins? What's it like?
It's very peaceful, Commander. They've been real careful with development, so you
Alright,
don't have any
later,
city
man.
noise or pollution. My parents lived on the outskirts of the colony. At night, I used to climb this big hill and stare across the fields back at the lights from the main settlement. It was gorgeous. But when I got older, I realized it was a little too calm and quiet for me. That's why I joined the Alliance. Even Paradise gets boring after a while.
Any idea why Eden Prime was chosen as our destination?
Not really sure, Commander. Eden Prime's one of our most stable colonies. Good place to take the Normandy for a shakedown run, I guess. No real danger there. There's gotta be something else going on. We've got a Spectre on board. That's why I'm so wound up. I can't wait for the real mission to start.
Do your job, follow my orders, and there won't be any problems.
Easy for you to say. You proved yourself on Torfin. Everybody knows what you can do. This is my big chance. I need to show the brass what I can do.
This mission isn't about personal glory, Corporal. We have a job to do. Don't do anything stupid to mess it up.
Don't worry, sir. I'm not gonna screw this up.
The captain's waiting for me.
Goodbye,
You
Commander.
won't, because you'll be dead. Get over there. So Shepard in this is actually commander, and so he's actually quite high up already. In his career.
Commander Shepard, I was hoping you'd get here first. It will give us a chance to talk.
The captain said he'd meet me here.
He's on his way. I'm interested in this world we're going to, Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful.
I'm a Marine, not some tourist on vacation.
It's more than just a tourist destination, isn't it, Shepard? Eden Prime is a symbol of your people. A perfect little world on the edges of your territory. Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it, really?
Are you trying to scare me, Spectre?
Your people are still newcomers, Shepard. The galaxy can be a very dangerous place. Is the Alliance truly ready for this?
I think it's about time we told the commander what's really going on.
This mission is far more than a simple shakedown run.
Is someone gonna fill me in, Captain?
We're making a covert pickup on Eden Prime. That's why we needed the stealth systems operational.
There must be a reason you didn't tell me about this, sir.
This comes down from the top, Commander. Information strictly on a need-to-know basis. A research team on Eden Prime unearthed some kind of beacon during an excavation. It was Prothean.
I thought the Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago.
Their legacy still remains. The mass relays, the Citadel, our ship drives. It's all based on Prothean technology.
This is big, Shepard. The last time humanity made a discovery like this, it jumped our technology forward 200 years. But Eden Prime doesn't have the facilities to handle something like this. We need to bring the beacon back to the Citadel for proper study.
Obviously, this goes beyond mere human interests, Commander. This discovery could affect every species in Council space.
So the Protheans are used, and this is a race who basically leave behind trinkets for people to find that are really advanced. Another problem with Andromeda, as I said before, is its sheer, unoriginality. There is a species in that called the Remainers, or the Remnant, or something like that. And they do exactly the same thing as the Protheans, but in another galaxy. It's just not great.
Why didn't we keep the beacon for ourselves?
You humans don't have the best reputation. Some species see you as selfish, too unpredictable, too independent, even dangerous.
Sharing that beacon will improve relations with the Council. Plus, we need their scientific expertise. They know more about the Protheans than we do.
The beacon's not the only reason I'm here, Shepard.
Nihilus wants to see you in action, Commander. He's here to evaluate you.
Since when do we answer to the Spectres?
You're smart enough to know how things work, Commander. The Alliance has been pushing for this for a long time. Humanity wants a larger role in shaping interstellar policy. We want more say with the Citadel Council. The Spectres represent the Council's power and authority. If they accept a human into their ranks, it shows how far the Alliance has come.
I was impressed when I studied the reports from Torfin. A grim business, but you got the job done. That's why I put your name forward as a candidate for the Spectres.
Why would a Turian want a human in the Spectres?
Not all Turians resent humanity. Some of us see the potential of your species. We see what you have to offer to the rest of the galaxy, and to the Spectres. We are an elite group. It's rare to find an individual with the skills we seek. I don't care that you're human, Shepard. I only care that you can do the job.
I assume this is good for the Alliance.
Earth needs this, Shepard. We're counting on you.
I need to see your skills for myself, Commander. Eden Prime will be the first of several missions together.
You'll be in charge of the ground team. Secure the beacon and get it onto the ship ASAP. Nihilus will accompany you to observe the mission.
What do you know about the Protheans?
Just what they taught us in school. They were a technologically advanced species that ruled the galaxy 50,000 years ago. Then they vanished. Nobody really knows how or why, though I've heard plenty of theories. But everyone agrees galactic civilization wouldn't exist without them.
Their citadel is the very heart of galactic society, and without their mass relays, interstellar travel would be impossible. We all owe the Protheans a great debt.
I'd like to know more about Eden Prime before we touch down.
It's a peaceful farming world, but it represents something much bigger. Eden Prime is one of our oldest and most successful colonies. It proved we were ready to face the challenges of settling new worlds, to forge a place for humanity beyond Earth. It symbolizes humanity's growth and evolution as a spacefaring species. And after this, it will be known as the world where humans made a discovery of galactic importance.
Why is this beacon so important?
All advanced galactic civilization is based on Prothean technology, even yours.
If we hadn't discovered those Prothean ruins buried on Mars, we'd still be stuck on Earth. That was just a small data cache. Who knows what we can learn from this beacon? What if it's a weapons archive? We can't let it fall into the wrong hands.
Like who?
The Attican Traverse isn't the most stable sector of Citadel space. There are plenty of raiders and criminal groups active in the region. They might figure a Prothean beacon is worth the risk of attacking an Alliance ship. Plus, Eden Prime is right on the border of the Terminus systems.
The Attican Traverse is under Citadel protection. If the Terminus systems attack, it's an act of war.
Technically, yes. But some of the species in the Terminus might be willing to start a war over this.
The last thing the Council wants is to get dragged into a major conflict with the Terminus systems. We have to keep this low-key.
Just give the word, Captain.
We should be getting close to Eden.
Captain, we got a problem.
What's wrong, Joker?
Transmission from Eden Prime, sir. You better see this.
Bring it up on screen.
Get down!
We are under attack, taking heavy casualties. I repeat, heavy casualties. We can't get evac. They came out of nowhere. We need...
Everything cuts out after that. No comm traffic at all. Just goes dead. There's nothing.
Reverse and hold at 38.5. Status report.
17 minutes out, Captain. No other Alliance ships in the area.
Take us in, Joker, fast and quiet. This mission just got a lot more complicated.
A small strike team can move quickly, without drawing attention. It's our best chance to secure the beacon.
Grab your gear and meet us in the cargo hold. Tell Alenko and Jenkins to suit up, Commander. You're going in.
Considering what that thing is.
Engaging stealth. Somebody was doing some serious digging here, Captain.
Your team's the muscle in this operation, Commander. Go in heavy and head straight for the dig site.
What about survivors, Captain?
Helping survivors is a secondary objective. The beacon's your top priority.
Approaching drop point 1.
Nihilus, you coming with us?
I move faster on my own.
Nihilus will scout out ahead. He'll feed you status reports throughout the mission. Otherwise, I want radio silence.
Ready and able, sir.
The mission's yours now, Shepard. Good luck!
We are approaching drop point 2.
Ship perimeter secure, Commander.
Goes.
This place got hit hard, Commander. Hostiles everywhere. Your guard.
I'm hoping everything's fine with as we go through it and we're not going to get a crash. Considering I had a laptop 8, 9 years ago now that could play this without any frame rate drops. So
What the hell are those?
Gas bags. Don't worry, they're harmless.
can you imagine coming here and like being this? What the fuck?
Oh God, what happened here?
Anything over here? You know, you've been through something so many times. I wonder if there's anything around the corner. There is something around the corner. Now that texture is an old texture. So that's one of the textures that used to be in the game. Look at that. How awful that is. Anything else though? Got pretty enough, you know, for Mass Effect. Looking forward to playing through this again. I just had that craving, you know what I mean? I just had that weird craving. I very rarely get them anymore. I used to get them all the time.
Right through his shields. We're at a chance.
Leave him. We need to finish the mission.
Aye, aye, sir.
Harsh, but yeah, true.
Take him out!
Got some burned out buildings here, Shepard. A lot of bodies. I'm gonna check it out. I'll try to catch up with you at the dig site.
Thank you, Nolan.
Over there!
Shepard's just schooling Kaiden at the moment.
All clear.
Shut up, boy.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212. You the one in charge here, sir?
I need a status report, now.
Oh, man. We were patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
Where's the rest of your squad?
We tried to double back to the beacon, but we walked into an ambush. I don't think any of the others... I think I'm the only one left.
This isn't your fault, Williams. You couldn't have done anything to save them.
Yes, sir. We held our position as long as we could, until the Geth overwhelmed us.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
They must have come for the beacon. The dig site is close, just over that rise. It might still be there.
You're coming with us, Williams. We need that beacon.
Aye, aye, sir. It's time for payback.
What else do you know about the Geth?
Just what I remember from history class back in school. They're synthetics, non-organic life forms with limited AI programming, created by the Quarians a few centuries ago. They were supposed to be a source of cheap labor, but ended up turning on the Quarians and drove them into exile. Well, after that, they just kind of disappeared behind the Perseus Veil. Nobody's really heard much from them since.
Tell me everything you know about the beacon.
They were doing some digging out here to extend the monorail and expand the colony. A few weeks ago, they unearthed some Prothean ruins, and the beacon. Suddenly, every scientific expert in the colony was interested. That's when they brought us in to secure the site. I don't know much about the beacon itself, but I heard one of the researchers say this could be the biggest scientific discovery of the century.
What happened to the researchers at the dig site?
I don't know. They set up camp near the beacon. The 232 was with them. Maybe their unit fared better than mine.
Describe what happened leading up to the attack.
We were sent out a couple of nights ago from the main colony to secure the area. Seemed like a routine patrol, until the Geth hit us. We never knew they were coming.
Have you seen a Turian Spectre around here?
There aren't any Turians on Eden Prime. None that I've ever met. Not sure I'd be able to tell if one was a Spectre anyway.
If you saw this guy, you'd know. Carries enough firepower to wipe out a whole platoon. Luckily, he's on our side.
Sorry. Like I said, no Turians.
Move out.
Ooh.
The beacon's at the far end of this trench.
Pretty grim.
Area secured.
Warp. Ah. That was very nice. Graphics aren't really that great in this title, but they are later.
This is the dig site. The beacon was right here. It must have been moved.
By who? Our side or the Geth?
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
Let's get moving. Williams, where's the camp?
It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
Change of plans, Shepard. There's a small spaceport up ahead. I want to check it out. I'll wait for you there.
Nice. Like new stuff. Does look much better than it used to. Although there is a weird chopping in between cutscenes, but it's
Looks
fine.
like they hit the camp hard.
It's a good place for an ambush. Keep your guard up. Oh god, they're still alive!
What did the Geth do to them? Perimeter clear.
Omni gel.
That door, it's Gate's closed. Security lock's engaged.
There.
Humans. Thank the Maker.
Hurry! Close the door before they come back.
How did you end up in this shed?
We hid here during the attack. They must have come here for the beacon. Luckily, it wasn't here. It was moved to the spaceport earlier this morning. Manuel and I stayed behind to pack up the camp. When the attack came, the Marines held them off long enough for us to hide. They gave their lives to save us.
No one is saved. The age of humanity is ended. Soon, only ruin and corpses will remain.
What else can you tell me about the attack?
It all happened so fast. 1 second we were gathering up our equipment. The next we were hiding in the shed while the Geth swarmed over the camp.
Agents of the Destroyers, bringers of darkness, heralds of our extinction.
We could hear the battle outside. Gunfire, screams. I thought it would never end. Then everything went quiet. We just sat there, too afraid to move, until you came along.
Did you notice a Turian in the area?
I saw him, the Prophet, leader of the enemy. He was here before the attack.
That's impossible. Nihilus was with us in the Normandy before the attack. He couldn't have been here.
I'm sorry, Manuel's still a bit unsettled. We haven't seen your Turian. We've been hiding in here since the attack.
Can you tell me anything about the beacon?
It's some type of data module from a galaxy-wide communications network. Remarkably well preserved. It could be the greatest scientific discovery of our lifetime. Miraculous new technologies, groundbreaking medical advances. Who knows what secrets are locked inside?
We have unearthed the heart of evil, awakened the beast, unleashed the darkness.
Manuel, please. This isn't the time.
What's wrong with your assistant?
Manuel has a brilliant mind, but he's always been a bit unstable. Genius and madness are two sides of the same coin.
Is it madness to see the future? To see the destruction rushing towards us? To understand there is no escape? No hope? No. I am not mad. I'm the only sane one left.
I gave him an extra dose of his meds after the attack.
Say goodnight, Manuel.
You cannot silence the truth. My voice must be heard.
Oh my God! What did you do?
That might have been a little extreme, Commander.
You can't just go around whacking people in the head.
It was only a matter of time until he did something crazy and dangerous.
I suppose you're right. By the time he wakes up, the meds will have kicked in.
Williams, take us to the spaceport.
Good luck, Commander.
One thing that they did get rid of from Dragon Age and things like that is the fact that companions no longer really disagree with what you're doing. I know he says that that's extreme, but he doesn't really disapprove. He doesn't really say anything like, "Oh, I don't like you anymore." He doesn't say anything like that. They'll disagree there and then, but very rarely did they say anything. There are a few big flashpoints in the story where, you know, if you do something that they really don't like, then they will come to you later. Even end up having to kill a few of them, but in general, the disapproval thing isn't there.
Saren. Nihilus. This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
The Council thought you could use some help on this one.
I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
Don't worry. I've got it under control.
What is that? Off in the distance. Everybody stay calm out there. We're coming out, we're not armed.
Is it safe? Are they gone?
Nobody moves a muscle until we know who you are.
Nice going, Cole. I told you we should have stayed hidden.
It's okay. We're all on the same side here. We're just farmers. We've been hiding ever since that ship first showed up.
Do you know anything about the Prothean beacon they dug up?
We're just farmers. We heard they found something out there, but it never really mattered to us. Not until now.
Tell me everything you remember about the attack.
The three of us were working the crops when that ship showed up. We just saw it and ran. I don't know what happened to the rest of the crew.
They were by the garage, over near the spaceport, right where that ship came down. No way they survived.
You don't know that. We survived. If they made it to the garage, they could have had a fighting chance.
What else can you tell me about the ship you saw?
I was too busy running to get a clear look at it. I think it landed over near the spaceport.
Tell them about the noise, Cole. That awful noise.
It was emitting some kind of signal as it descended. It sounded like the shriek of the damned. Only it was coming from inside your own head.
It was probably trying to block communications.
Whatever it was, it felt like it was tearing right through my skull. Almost made it impossible to think.
I have to go.
Hey, Cole, we're just a bunch of farmers. These guys are soldiers. Maybe we should give them the stuff.
Jeez, Blake, you gotta learn when to shut up.
If there's something you're not telling me.
Some guys at the spaceport were running a small smuggling ring. Nothing major. In exchange for a cut of the profits, we let them store packages in our sheds.
You greedy bastard. You weren't running for your life. You were running to check on your merchandise.
No, it's not like that. I just knew there were some packages here, something we could use. I found a pistol. Figured it would come in handy if those things came back. But you'll probably get more use out of it than we will.
Hand it over and I'll be on my way.
Good luck.
Nice. I wonder if that's from what I've got. It certainly is better than what I've got. Oh.
Commander, it's Nihilus.
See?
Something's moving over behind those crates.
Wait! Don't shoot! I'm one of you! I'm human!
I like the way you hid behind those crates during the fight. Really helped us out. Thanks a lot.
Me? But I'm just a dock worker. I don't even have a weapon. My name's Powell. I saw what happened to that Turian. The other one shot him.
What the hell are you talking about?
There were two Turians here. Your friend and another one he called Saren. I think they knew each other. Your friend seemed to relax. He let his guard down. And Saren killed him. Shot him right in the back. I'm just lucky he didn't see me behind the crates.
We were told a Prothean beacon was brought to the spaceport. What happened to it?
It's over on the other platform. Probably where that guy Saren was headed. He hopped on the cargo train right after he killed your friend. I knew that beacon was trouble. Everything's gone to hell since we found it. First that damn mothership showed up, then the attack. They killed everyone. Everyone. If I hadn't been behind the crates, I'd be dead too.
How come you're the only one who survived? Why didn't anyone else try to hide behind the crates?
They never had a chance. I was already behind the crates when the attack started. Wait a minute. You were hiding behind the crates before the attack? Sometimes I need a nap to get through my shift. I sneak off behind the crates to grab 40 winks where the supervisor can't find me.
You survived because you're lazy?
If you hadn't snuck off for that nap, you'd probably be dead just like all the others.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really want to think about it.
Tell me about this mothership you saw.
I've never seen anything like it before. It was huge. Landed over near that platform. The whole place got dark as it came down. And it was making this noise, this sound that bored right into your brain. That's what woke me up. The attack came a few minutes later.
We need to find that beacon before it's too late.
Take the cargo train. That's where the other Turian went. I can't stay here. I need to get away from all this.
I smell trouble.
Damn. What the hell? Damn. Oh. Probably this is a train. But I like the pretty fab units. I like how it is quite realistic.
Set the charges. Destroy the entire colony. Leave no evidence that we were here.
Demolition charges. The Geth must have planted them.
Hurry! We need to find them all and shut them down.
Over here. Oh. It's very slow paced, it is very old. Something we need to get used to, I'm afraid. One thing about the game is pretty weird is the fact that you can only sprint for a certain amount of time. He's a Marine. Sprint for at least like a couple of seconds. And there's no running properly if you're sprinting. You don't do that when you're in combat. But there are certain RPG mechanics that are in this that don't need to be here, you know? But in sequels, actually got rid of a lot of the RPG stuff, and by that I mean character progression as well. It's very non-RPG like in Game Doctor, which is a shame. But they are much more streamlined, and the combat is much better. I mean, look how clunky it is. I nearly died a few times there just about how clunky the combat is. Like I'm wanting to take cover and he's just standing there, or he gets glitched on it, or he's there and he won't kneel down. It's like, And story.
Normandy, the beacon is secure.
This is amazing. Actual working Prothean technology. Unbelievable.
It wasn't doing anything like that when they dug it up. Something must have activated it.
Roger, Normandy. Standing by.
No, don't touch it! It's too dangerous!
And just like that, Ashley could have been the protagonist of the entire series. Deb was like, no, it's my series, get out. Yeah, exactly.
We identified the ship that touched down on Eden Prime. The Normandy. A human alliance vessel. It was under the command of Captain Anderson. They managed to save the colony.
And the beacon.
One of the humans may have used it.
This human must be eliminated.
So it's not actually my birthday. My birthday was at the start of the month, but thank you very much. That shouldn't be in the title. I did change the title. So hopefully it's changed.
Doctor Chakwas, I think he's waking up.
You had us worried there, Shepard. How are you feeling?
Like the morning after shore leave. How long was I out?
About 15 hours. Something happened down there with the beacon, I think.
It's my fault. I must have triggered some kind of security field when I approached it. You had to push me out of the way.
You had no way to know what would happen.
Actually, we don't even know if that's what set it off. Unfortunately, we'll never get the chance to find out.
The beacon exploded. A system overload, maybe. The blast knocked you cold. The lieutenant and I carried you back here to the ship.
I appreciate it.
Physically, you're fine. But I detected some unusual brain activity. Abnormal beta waves. I also noticed an increase in your rapid eye movement. Signs typically associated with intense dreaming.
I'm just on the off chance. Does it say that on the stream that it is... Oh, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, I can just see it, yeah. Oh well. I did change that, but obviously it hasn't changed on YouTube. I normally leave Kaiden simply because he's so boring it makes me hurt inside. Yeah, so normally I leave Kaiden, but we'll see, we'll see.
I saw... I'm not sure what I saw. Death? Destruction? Nothing's really clear.
I better add this to my report. It may... Oh, Captain Anderson.
How's our XO holding up, Doctor?
Well, all the readings look normal. I'd say the commander's going to be fine.
Glad to hear it. Shepard, I need to speak with you. In private.
Aye, Captain. I'll be in the mess if you need me.
Sounds like that beacon hit you pretty hard, Commander. Are you sure you're okay?
I don't like soldiers dying under my command.
Jenkins wasn't your fault. You did a good job, Shepard.
Intel dropped the ball, sir. We had no idea what we were walking into down there. That's why things went to hell.
The Geth haven't been outside the Veil in 2 centuries, Commander. Nobody could have predicted this.
That's a thing about Williams, though, as a character, is... And I was going to get into her next session. Everyone assumes that she's racist as a character. I don't actually see it that way. I think she's more of a... I can actually see a lot of people thinking that way about after the First Contact War and things, especially when you see how the First Contact War went, and when you see glimpses of it in different media and things like that. It's quite violent, and a lot of people died for no reason. Like, the Praetorians were attacking us for literally, and wouldn't even give us they wouldn't even tell us why they were attacking us, they just kept attacking us. But I can definitely understand why she doesn't like aliens, and when you hear about where her family's from, I also can understand why she doesn't like aliens. And she doesn't stay that way, by the way. You know, she does grow a little bit. You know, she doesn't become... But you know, as she said, she's an aligned soldier. She's like a human, and she stands up for their rights and things. She would still die defending an alien, though. I honestly think that if you asked Ashley Williams to die defending an alien, she would do that. You know, there's no qualms there. She just, you know, doesn't particularly trust them. And considering where her family's from and what's happened to her family in the past, I can understand that mindset. That doesn't mean I agree with it, but at least I can understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Chief Williams isn't part of the Normandy crew.
I figured we could use a soldier like her. She's been reassigned to the Normandy.
Williams is a good soldier. She deserves it.
Lieutenant Alenko agrees with you. That's why I added her to our crew.
You said you needed to see me in private, Captain?
I won't lie to you, Shepard. Things look bad. Nihilus is dead. The beacon was destroyed and Geth are invading. The Council's going to want answers.
The Council can kiss my ass. I won't let them blame me for losing the beacon. I didn't do anything wrong.
I'll stand behind you and your report, Shepard. You're a damned hero in my books. That's not why I'm here. It's Saren, that other Turian. Saren's a Spectre, one of the best, a living legend. But if he's working with the Geth, it means he's gone rogue. A rogue Spectre's trouble. Saren's dangerous, and he hates humans.
Why?
He thinks we're growing too fast, taking over the galaxy. A lot of aliens think that way. Most of them don't do anything about it. But Saren has allied himself with the Geth. I don't know how, I don't know why. I only know it had something to do with that beacon. You were there just before that beacon self-destructed. Did you see anything? Any clue that might tell us what Saren was after?
Just before I lost consciousness, I had some kind of vision.
A vision? A vision of what?
I saw synthetics. Geth, maybe. Slaughtering people. Butchering them.
We need to report this to the Council, Shepard.
Oh, don't worry, Axo. Do not worry. The whole first 15 minutes to half an hour of this stream was me just talking about how BioWare has fallen away. Recent years. Don't worry about that. Have a watch of it when I finish streaming, if you agree with what I said.
What are we gonna tell him? I had a bad dream?
We don't know what information was stored in that beacon. Lost Prothean technology? Blueprints for some ancient weapon of mass destruction? Whatever it was. Saren took it. But I know Saren. I know his reputation is politics. He believes humans are a blight on the galaxy. This attack was an act of war. He has the secrets from the beacon. He has an army of Geth at his command, and he won't stop until he's wiped humanity from the face of the galaxy.
I'll find some way to take him down.
It's not that easy. He's a Spectre. He can go anywhere, do almost anything. That's why we need the Council on our side.
When have they ever done anything for humanity?
If we expose Saren as a traitor, the Council will revoke his Spectre status. I'll contact the Ambassador and see if he can get us an audience with the Council. He'll want to see us as soon as we reach the Citadel. We should be getting close. Head up to the bridge and tell Joker to bring us into dock.
Tell you what, the upgrade on the old textures makes Anderson's uniform look very swish.
Hey, Commander. I'm glad you're okay, Commander. The crew could use some good news after what happened to Jenkins.
Jenkins was a valuable part of this crew.
Part of me feels guilty over what happened. If Jenkins was still alive, I might not be here.
Love how he's this valuable part of his crew after just stepping over his corpse like it was nothing.
You're a good soldier, Williams. You belong on the Normandy.
Thanks, Commander. I appreciate that.
Things were pretty rough down there. Are you okay?
I've seen friends die before. Comes with being a Marine. But to see my whole unit wiped out, and you never get used to seeing dead civilians. But things would have been a lot worse if you hadn't shown up.
We couldn't have done it without you, Williams.
Thanks, Commander. I have to admit, I was a little worried about being assigned to the Normandy. It's nice when someone makes you feel welcome.
I think you're gonna fit in here just fine, Williams.
Thanks, Commander.
Glad to see you're okay, Commander.
Go speak to Joker when you're ready. Tell him to bring the Normandy into dock.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
I'll talk to her in a minute. Yeah, I didn't realise that Billie Eilish's mum voiced Samara, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
I'm glad you're okay, Commander. Losing Jenkins was hard enough.
Reminding you of your place then.
Good timing, Commander. I was just about to bring us into the Citadel. See that taxpayer money at work.
Looking very pretty, isn't it? Those texture mods. I didn't think they would extend to these scenes as well, but they do.
The Ascension, flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower, too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side, then.
Citadel Control, this is SSV Normandy, requesting permission to land.
Stand by for clearance, Normandy. Clearance granted. You may begin your approach. Transferring you to an Alliance operator.
Roger, Alliance Tower. Normandy out.
Normandy, this is Alliance Tower. Please proceed to Dock 422.
I'm not sure they could do ship-to-ship combat. Really difficult.
This is an outrage! The Council would step in if the Geth attacked a Tur...
The Turians don't found colonies on the borders of the Terminus systems, Ambassador.
Humanity was well aware of the risks when you went into the Traverse.
What about Saren? You can't just ignore a rogue Spectre. I demand action!
You don't get to make demands of the Council, Ambassador.
Citadel Security is investigating your charges against Saren. We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing, not before.
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew with you.
Just the ground team from Eden Prime, in case you had any questions.
I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate?
They are. Sounds like you convinced the Council to give us an audience.
They were not happy about it. Saren's their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
So, now I'm moving to the US on the 26th of March, so I'm doing the entire series, 1 to 3, on stream. 1 and 2 were amazing. The 3, yeah, we will go into the ending of 3 when we get to it, obviously. And yeah, with Andromeda, obviously, I'm not going to be playing that because I can't do it again. But yeah, I will be making my opinions very clear as we're moving forward. But at the start of this session, as I said, for about half an hour, we had 15 minutes, half an hour, we had a good talk about Andromeda and where it went wrong and things. So give it a little look when I'm finished. I'm going to be finished in a little minute, but when I'm finished, give it a little look. I loved Inquisition. I don't know why. Yeah, and a lot of people had the same feelings about Dragon Age Inquisition, but I really liked it. And again, don't ask me why. It was just the feeling of it that I quite liked. It depends, Exo, on the endings of Mass Effect 3. I am in the camp that with the extended cut, and the Leviathan DLC, the ending of Mass Effect 3 isn't that bad. It's actually okay. It's pretty decent. But without those two things, it's an abortion. It's an absolute abortion. Simply because one of the main things you need to do with an ending to a series like that is to foreshadow what's happening, and the Star Child thing does not work without serious foreshadowing, and it does not work without it explaining itself, and it seriously does not work without you seeing how the galaxy ended up afterwards. You know, that abrupt ending was just absolutely, it was an abortion basically. That they painted themselves into a corner and they shit their pants, essentially. And that was and when you think about it, that was the last act of old BioWare. How sad is that? That was the last act. They went out on a real low there. Selling a load of games, but like, you know, in terms of the story, a lot of the staff left after that. A few of them went over to Dragon Age Inquisition, which was still really well written for the most part. But that was the beginning of the end for old BioWare, which is really, really sad. But yeah. Oh, that's another hot take. Dragon Age 2 better than Inquisition. Oh, can't agree. But I will say one thing about Dragon Age 2, and once again, there's a lot of Dragon Age on the channel as well, so if you want to know my opinions on that, go and have a little look. I've got a complete playthrough of 1 and 2 on the channel. What I will say about Dragon Age 2 is, I think that, and again I say this in the playthrough, if you take Dragon Age 2 as face value, as its own game, it's easily an 8 out of 10 game. It's a really nice little RPG that I like to play through every now and again. But if you compare it to Dragon Age Origins, and you treat it as the sequel to Dragon Age Origins, it's going to fall down each and every single time. Because one of them is one of the best role-playing games ever made, and the other one is an 8 out of 10 role-playing game at best, which is still good. But, you know, I do enjoy 2. It's its own nice little game. I can't agree it's better than Inquisition. I think Inquisition outdoes it in every single manner, to be honest with you. Even though, when I was playing Inquisition and Hawk did come along in Inquisition, I did get pangs of nostalgia. I wanted to go and replay it again. So, yeah. Do you know who the old man is, Dave? At the end of Dragon Age, at the end of Mass Effect 3. That old man's actually Buzz Aldrin, who is one of the first men to walk on the moon. So there you go. Now I'm going to finish up this conversation, and then I'm going to finish the session, because I'm starving. I've not eaten yet since dinner time. So, and then once we're finished with this, have a little check out what else is on the channel. I will be back on either tomorrow or over the weekend to do a lot more of Mass Effect. I'm going to try and get it all finished within the next 4 or 5 days, which is going to be awesome.
I'm not going to sit on my ass just because the Council doesn't want to do anything. If they won't stop Saren, I will.
Settle down, Commander. You've already done more than enough to jeopardize your candidacy for the Spectres. The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
That's Saren's fault, not his.
Then we better hope the C-Sec investigation turns up evidence to support our accusations. Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level. I'll make sure you have clearance to get in.
And that's why I hate politicians.
There we go, we're on the Citadel now. This is a good place to leave it. He did sound like a bit of a pervert, didn't he, at the end of Mass Effect? Right, cheers very, very, very much for watching. I know you all joined pretty late, which is a shame. We've been on for a little while now. This will be a full Renegade run as well, so if you're interested in that. If you see me online again, I'm always online about 20 minutes before I'm actually on, just to let people join the chat and things and get involved. So, I will speak to you probably over the weekend, and cheers for watching.